So in the olden days, this is the toothbrush. This is the toothpaste for people here. The local people call it or is a kind of, it's a medicinal plant that they use for different purposes. But in those days where there wasn't toothbrush, there wasn't toothpaste. This is the toothbrush for the local people, the toothpaste for the local people. Wait. It's a leech. It's very dangerous. When it gets into your skin, it sucks your blood, you know. And if you have more than 1, 2, 3 of these sucking your blood, you can become dizzy. And it's painful as well. And it can disintegrate itself into your skin. And it's so painful. This is a leech, and we have thousands, if not millions of these in these waters.
Apart from the exhaustion, we had a lot of pleasure being in this forest. But on this day, we came face to face with terror. Not the terror as you know it in the city capitals. It is the rage of nature, things that make you and I to be afraid.
Where he pass? Where is he? This is swamp. A swamp that is filled with all kinds of creatures. Snakes, insects, different things that harm human beings. And we are here. Just as I am talking, there is another snake here. We are getting the impact of why we are here. If you don't have heart, you can't come here. You need brave people. And all these people are brave enough to brave it.
Palm wine tapping is one of the age-old occupations of the people here, which has been unrefined for ages, and to this day, the products of the palm wine tappers of these communities are termed illicit gin.
This is a simple scientific method of separating the alcohol from the water, because the palm wine comes with a lot of water in it. So what do? They try to separate it by using the boiling points of alcohol as against the boiling point of water. Boiling point of alcohol is lower. So if you boil the water and the alcohol together, the possibility is that the alcohol will evaporate first, leaving the water behind. And then it goes into this chamber. This is what you call what?
Condenser.
A condenser.
Yes.
Condenser is something that drops the temperature of a gas to liquid. So as it passes through here, this water cools it down, and then it comes down here as liquid. And the liquid that comes down here has a mixture of water and concentrate of alcohol. So it goes into the, and that's the final product.
The Niger Delta people had age-old traditions that helped some of their pristine forest reserves.
Now we are in the middle of the river. It's actually a creek, but we know it as our river. On this river, we have here an ancient forest. This forest is as old as the Otakeme community. It is called the evil forest. It is called evil forest because only witches and wizards are buried here. Evil people are buried here. And as the name goes, it is people who do not live according to the customs and traditions of the community. However, I'm being told that in recent times, this forest is also falling prey to logging because the community have now done away with the culture of separating the evil and the saints in terms of their burial places.
And we enjoyed a lot of natural swimming pools from creeks that came from distant lands, with which people navigate from one community to the other.
Here is a typical 090 steel engine. It is the enemy of these forests. It has cut down so many trees around here that if these trees were to be human beings, they will cause a war with stealth. I don't have any issue with the company that makes the engine because it's their business to make engines for the use of people. I have business with people who use these machines to cause havoc to the forest. Papa, let me try whether I can do like you can. Let me try. Okay, so one here, one here. Okay. But I prefer to put it here, to shift it a bit. So, how many years have you been doing this work? It's very labor intensive. How many years have we been?
78.
Since 78? Yeah. You've been carving canoes?
Yeah. 43 years.
So, how many canoes can you carve in a month?
A month?
One canoe in a month. Okay. So, how much do you sell one canoe in a month?
This type is 80.
This is 80,000. So you spend 30 days, you carve canoe, and you get 80,000. How much do you invest to do the carving, like the food you eat, the all the things you need to buy, everything? How much?
Money like 40,000.
Okay.
They spent before.
So your profit at the end of the day now 40,000 for 1 month. And that money they take train children. Yeah. You get children for school. So now that money they take train children. Yeah. Okay. But I don't know whether you self they involved for timber work. Well, or now only canoe. Now you they carve. Yes. Now, so the problem where they there be say people where they do timber work, they can't compete with you. The tree where you go cut down, where you go take carve canoe, where you go take give village people where they go carry go farm. People for Obodo Ibo township, they go come with saw blade, then go cut them down, then go saw them, carry put inside motor, carry go. So after this while now, it go dey hard for you to see big tree cut for your your work. That is the problem where we dey face now. Now, for this Otakeme community, you still get some. If you go to Otakeme now, you no go get any wood again. Most of those places, they don't this thing. So our traditional occupation, you don't dey go. Once you now, you don't go, our children, they don't go see tree to cut for canoe again. So that is the problem. You know how many canoe we don't carve?
Oh, I know if it count. I know if it count. Lie. I know.
You know if you count.
Lie.
This wood is cut down and it's gone forever. The product is this canoe. Whether it comes out well or not is another issue. And it's going to last the person who bought it 7 to 8 years. But this wood has taken some decades to get to this point. And it's being sold for 100,000 naira. The forest has lost value, worth more than that. The economic value is 100,000 naira. However, should we advocate the occupation of people like this be scrapped? And in its place, people should use fiber boats and all kinds of things. Really, their activities in this forest is not as impactful as those who are wood loggers. Come here, cut with machines, cut them into cubics and transport them to the cities. Those are the people that they compete massively against. For wood loggers like this, their footprints are not as much as the wood loggers' footprints. So, for the sake of tradition, people like this should be allowed to exist, coexist with nature. But the wood loggers, they need serious regulation, traditionally and by law, at the local, at the state, and at the national level.
And we came in contact with the deep forest community of Otakeme, where the only means of transportation is 2 hours trekking by foot and on muddy shrubs to the nearest community of Otakeme. Here, trade by barter remains their best means of exchange of goods and services.
In this community, there is still the ancient practice of trade by barter, where you switch a bunch of plantain like this for fish. So that is the interrelationship between people here. You have your fish, I have my plantain, and we switch according to the regular quantity or size. I'm asking him, if I give him money, won't he buy fish from the money? And he's very reluctant. His mind is set to take fish directly, not a three-party system. So, I don't know, we're in a quagmire here. I love the plantain, yet he wouldn't sell to me. But the plantain is intended for sale. Why is it so difficult that you don't want to take money?
Because sometimes if you sell it money, because fish are very expensive now, so sometimes if you sell this plantain, the person that will buy will not price more than 3,000.
So you lack fish today, and you need fish by all means. Eh?
If we give him an offer that he weighs that the money can get his fish, he will likely sell it.
The problem is not even the offer. Even you as a person, you cannot offer this thing above what you think money can buy.
That's what he's trying to overcome. Assuming now we here, we decide to say maybe an average person weigh 3,000, but we like it and we say let's give him 5,000.
Yes.
He will take it and get the fish.
Yes.
This plantain, he already knows that the value of this plantain is 3,000 naira. And nobody in this community will want to buy it more than that.
Yes.
Okay? But somebody who is selling fish, he did not put in money to to get that fish. He woke up in the morning, went to the forest and caught fish. And now he brought the fish and he needs plantain. Without plantain, he cannot survive. So he can afford to say, okay, I can give you 4,000 naira worth of fish for this plantain. That is it. But in this instance now, just because we have met him now, okay, we are going to, this is a rare event too. It will not occur. We are going to now price you this plantain for 5,000.
That's something.
Like what?
Like 1,000.
I should add 1,000 to make it what?
6,000. There is what he's also looking at. That is why he feel. In fact, he had a love for us before he's even talking. If there is some people, they will move. Today is Tuesday. He's targeting the market, which is Wednesday. So today, okay, today is the market.
Trade by barter will commence today and
now
tomorrow.
the exchange of trade by barter will commence today. So no matter what you want to give to him, he's looking at the exchange. And the reason why
does he now let's finish so that we can move. Does he really you really have the mind of going to Ogbia Town for other things as well, or
No.
you are going for just this one?
I'm going for
Only this one. So
Yes.
now to make matters short, we are going to give you 5,000 for this plantain. You take 300 naira, pay to Ogbia Town. You hold like 1,000 or so, and then take the other one, buy fish. Then you flinch. Just come and flinch.
do you know?
Yeah? Yeah, I still understand. You understand?
No, you understand, but
So
are you comfortable with
please
that?
bring 5,000.
I'm not still
Comfortable.
Bring 5,000 first. This is 5,000. You make a choice between this plantain and this 5,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, so you
Wait, he has to make a choice.
But this one is not inclusive.
No, this one is not
No, that one
inclusive.
is not inclusive.
I make a choice. Pick am
You are
now.
only managing.
Eh? Pick. We found out that the gentleman was reluctant to exchange his plantain for currency because he loves trade by barter. And trade by barter is a dominant way of transacting business in this area. Today, Tuesday, and tomorrow, Wednesday, are days set aside for trade by barter, where people who have different commodities congregate at Ogbia Town and exchange commodity for commodity, not commodity for naira. After tomorrow, commodity exchange for naira and other currencies will commence. And so he is targeting the trade by barter to go to Ogbia Town today. However, we are still going to leave this plantain for the gentleman for today.
In this forest, several woods die every day as a result of wood loggers' activities, and we witness these activities firsthand. In the next few decades, the most exotic trees of this forest will have all gone.
Yeah. So, we are lucky to find this tree. It's a communal tree and it's an economic tree. This is the tree that produces ogbono, which is a common delicacy in Nigeria and probably West Africa. This tree is lucky to survive. You could see that it's more than my span. This is 1.5 meters, about that, by the circumference. Now, it is rare to see this tree, this size of this tree, in this forest. But I am told that in this small community, there are native laws that prohibit loggers from cutting down this particular tree. This economic value of this tree is more than the value of cutting it down once, which gives only one person economic profit. But the community keeps this tree and they harvest the fruits annually. So every year around June, July, this tree fruits. Once it fruits, the fruits will fall on the ground and people will pick and make use of it for their soup and also as a means of getting some financial gain by selling it in the open market. So the effort of this community, small community, is commendable, that they are still able to prevent people from logging the wood. We are lucky today to find Allah. Allah is the local name for oak tree. And this oak tree is said to be between 250 to 300 years old and is still standing. We came here to find out how come this tree is still standing when it is so majestic and big enough for timber, for canoe, and for any other use. Why has it not been logged by wood loggers? It is an amazing experience what we have been able to find out. If you come with me, I think you have a big hole that connects the bottom of this tree up to the top. And inside this hole, there are all kinds of animals. If you see here, it is as good as prepared for wildlife. And this is where they pass through to enter to their hole. As we are talking, there are bats, squirrels, and other creatures inside this hole, and they are living together comfortably. If you come and look at it, there could be snakes here. If I enter here, can I have torchlights, please? Give me torchlight. If I enter here, pictures, please. I can see bats. Yes, I can see bats. And like, look, I can't see snake, but looks like a living place for snakes as well as other wildlife. So this oak tree is lucky to have a deep hole in itself. Hopefully it will have 1 or 2 more centuries to live before it goes down. You can see the expanse of land that the roots have occupied. It goes far into the environment, and that is the beauty of having ancient trees still surviving. No one can stop them now.
They know you.
No one will stop them now.
They know you. Nobody can stop them now. They know you. No one can stop them.
On this day, the media community from the cities came visiting us in the forest, where they had first-hand knowledge of the situation of the forest.
The forest has been so devastated by logging. People have cut down trees, natural trees, heavy trees that protect the environment, that give us oxygen. People have logged down, and there is no regulation when it comes to wood logging. It is a disaster that is waiting to unfold. Now, the trees that you will see here that have not yet been cut down are small trees. The big ones, that 3 of us putting our hands, 4 or 5 people putting our hands together, will not be able to go through the diameter. They have been logged. Small trees are being cut down in for the purpose of economic gain. Exploration of oil and the carbon that comes with it has really caused havoc to the environment, natural, beautiful environment of the Niger. This is a rainforest. Everything you see around you here is a natural endowment. The way and manner that things are being managed has greatly shifted, to the negative. And we really need to push back to where it was before. There are a lot of these communal, customary laws and customary rules that they meant to preserve nature, the environment, and as a process of conflict resolution. All those things are gradually fading away because of economic interest. Somebody's economic interest is to make so much money from wood logging, mass fishing, and all that. My happiness is that in this forest where we are, oil has not been discovered. Because if oil was discovered, you wouldn't see what we are seeing here. What we will be seeing is roads cutting across. People say that, when animals cross the road, animals are crossing the road. But actually, it's human beings that cross animals' paths. This forest was full of wildlife, all kinds of wildlife. In fact, we saw the footprints of animals that we are going. And they will have hunters who come in and shoot and kill wildlife. You and I, after 30 years, 40 years, the animals, the wildlife that was here will become extinct, and our children will not be able to experience it. What we'll be experiencing is to go into the zoo. The wildlife that are here were special species. In the days when I was a kid, there were traditional, symbolic gesture of preserving nature. And looking back, I have realized that our fathers were very clever. So every community has a particular animal that they don't eat, believing that that animal is their god. Okay, for this community where I come from, is the fox. It is believed that if you are in the forest and you get missing, you get lost, the fox will appear to you and take you back to the road where you are missing. So nobody eats the fox. Otherwise, we will have seen fox around here as we are moving, because we have done about 2 hours or plus. But now you cannot see a single fox, because now people are not eating fox. There are some communities whose god is anaconda. There are some that are snakes, all kinds of things. Those things are gone and existing. So there's climate change, and climate change is focusing on renewable resources. Why should we not focus on preserving our forests? The oxygen that is being produced by this forest is the same oxygen that the President of the United States breathes. Instead of exploration of carbon crude oil, wouldn't it be nice to also look at the possibility of preserving this forest? Because at the end of the day, crude oil will be exhausted, it will finish. But oxygen is the one that keeps mankind going. Once oxygen is gone, the world explodes.
Heavy rainfall now, and we are in there. This is heaven. This is heaven.
And then we had the riddles of the forest.
We call this Opotogum. And the effect of this thing is that any tree that now follows from the ground to the up, we must surely kill that tree. To me, I call it parasite.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so why are humans not cutting down, trying to save this bigger tree from the parasite tree?
The truth is that if at all we want to save this tree, we can cut the Opotogum, that is the parasite tree, from the ground. As soon as we cut it from the ground, it now dies, and we can enable the wood to grow on its own. But without doing that, it must surely kill the wood, no matter how long it takes.
Now, we are here, and this place appears to be a route for human traffic. People move regularly here. Why have they not helped this tree to remove this Opotogum or the parasite tree from the tree itself?
Maybe those people don't have mercy on the wood, but it's like God has bring me today to save the wood from the Opotogum. So you can see me. I will want to cut it now in order for the wood to survive. If others like me were passing here before, this thing cannot grow up to this level. So I want to cut it now in order for the wood to be alive from the Otakeme.
To me, I'm not really happy what he is doing now, because I see it as a signal that God take all this thing to show us signal in life that without this tree, without bigger tree, this one cannot, the parasite tree cannot exist. So that is how God created him, to grow for somebody. But now, even if you are killing something for something, so you are still destroying. No, you are killing something for something. So I feel there is a destruction too. So it is not your divine. It is by God divine that let this Otakeme grow on this tree.
Okay, but to me, I agree with Chief here.
Yes.
Because this life is like a pyramid. The snake has to eat the bird to survive. Doesn't mean the snake will not still be there. This is a parasite tree. If you weigh the parasite tree and this big tree, the big tree has more value than this parasite tree. Yes. So I will always support that he should cut the parasite tree so the big tree can live.
Me, I'm against it because this one can stand alone, but this one cannot stand alone. So if we cut down all the ones that grow like this, that means this one, the smaller one, will go extinct, but this one will remain.
If either way, what's the benefit? Either way, one will always die and one will remain.
No, yes.
You must look at the benefit.
This one will not go extinct.
There is something I want
you
to
must
say.
look at the benefit.
This is nature. What is happening here is telling us I'm against Chief cutting it.
Yes.
For the following reasons. This thing is telling us about life. That you as a human being, you can't grow alone. There are people that grows around you. Now, if you leave even this tree to grow alone, it will die on its own too. It will soon die.
100 years.
100 years.
It's gone.
150, some is less than 100 years. They still die.
Yes, they die, but
they die.
This big tree will have a future.
God is showing us that this is life himself.
This
that
one,
nobody lives alone.
This one will stand on. There are other ones where you have this one standing alone. But does this one grow on its own?
It doesn't.
Hear the name parasite. Exactly. The name parasite is in the name.
So the tree is that is how God created
Okay,
this.
I want to
That
ask.
is how God
What are we going to use it to do?
Parasite. That's where I'm coming.
What are we
Parasites are
using
only parasitic to the ones that are the host in relationship. They are useful to others.
Yes. But
so
tell me one thing.
You can't say we should
extinct
extinct this tree. You will find the cure for a virus coming from this tree.
Let me
assure you
once
that.
it's called a parasite, it is never useful to anything.
No, that is not. It's only parasitic in the relationship. Outside the relationship, it is not a parasite.
But right now, there's nothing going on.
If somebody is eating from me, it's a parasite to me. It's not a parasite to you. You guys, it can even be helping you. It is only a parasite.
What is the beneficial use of it?
You see it in future. You don't have to.
But right now,
when you get hatred on something like Chief,
you're sending it
already Chief makes sure to understand that it does not like the.
But the tree itself is sending the big.
So he has a hatred on the. He has hatred on the tree. That's why he's saying he's calling it parasite.
Okay, so can we call it a day so that we can move on? I think I'm with both sides of the argument.
Okay.
The people who are saying that we should leave the parasite tree to survive, they made sense too. Those who are saying that we should allow the tree to survive, they also are making sense too. Nature, the jungle is made for one to survive on the other. No single entity survives on its own without the help of the other. So God has created what a prism of survival. I think man is at the top of the prism.
Food chain.
The food chain. So, the fact that lions eat on other animals does not mean that we are going to kill all the lions so the other animals will survive. The fact that the crocodiles, when they're in the water, they eat a lot of other species doesn't mean that we are going to kill all the crocodiles for the other fishes to survive. That is how nature creates world was created. When it comes to this parasite tree, yes, I think that I'm with Daniel when he says that a parasite is only a parasite to the extent of the host. A parasite could be a beneficial to any other thing apart from the host. So in this case, there is a parasite on this wood. Now, the thing is, if we leave this tree with this parasite, the tree will eventually die, and the parasite itself will eventually die. Both of them will eventually die. If we take out the parasite, the possibility is that the tree is going to live longer than the parasite, and that will also help to preserve the ecosystem, the forest. Now we are looking at the value of this tree in years to come. Should we allow the parasites to kill it in 10 years and then the tree will go, or we remove the parasites and allow also the loggers to kill the same wood in maybe 5 years? That is a difficult challenge to do. I do not want us to put what our eventual decision will be on camera. So we are going to off camera take a decision regarding this parasite tree and this tree, and then so that the debate will continue.
So that stick self short. Just cut them. Inside you.
I've not given Chidera, my friend.
Species of Hafula is very popular here. It grows in the wild as well, but some people plant it in their compounds as well. So this one, I got this one on the ground, ripened one. Maybe it fell yesterday, so I'm going to eat it.
Oh, wow.
Very sweet. I'm in heaven. That's a lot of liquid. This year.
There was exhaustion by everyone on this expedition. Several days and hundreds of hours by foot had taken a toll on everyone. We could not help but succumb to nature. People needed rest.
Welcome to day 9 of expedition into deep forest. We are here in Otakeme community, where we have set out into deep forest for a one-day expedition. This is how we roll here, and we are going through a local boat popularly called Oko. It is an engine boat that is carried with the 5 of us who are on this trip into deep forest. And there is no other means to go into that forest than this kind of transportation. We have had members of our team who are unable to make this trip today because we are going through waters. But for those of us who are born here in these waters, it is a pleasure once again riding in this kind of boats and going to the forest.
Bye.
In the Niger Delta, the rains fall all year round. And in this forest, the rains can fall anytime. And the entire area is swamp. That is why it is called the Niger Delta rainforest.
This is the swamp of the Niger Delta. It is so it is so swampy that at the peak of the rainy season, the entire place will be so flooded that you need a boat to go around this forest. It is nature's endowment. It is a beautiful place to be if you want an adventure. This is adventure. So we're lucky to find a squirrel. It's a wildlife. It was in this cave. We met it lower ground here, but it was afraid of us humans. So it climbed up and entered the cave up the tree. This squirrel is a very intelligent animal. It knows how to defend itself, to stay where humans will not be able to reach it. But we humans are more clever. We are the cleverest animals on planet Earth. So we are consuming everything. People are looking for this squirrel as a delicacy. And as we are talking to you now, there is a beautiful bird up making a beautiful noise. Humans don't venture this place that much, except to hunt and to kill. Now we're here. We want you to see how beautiful this place is. It's water log. The entire place is water. And sometimes it gets up to my tummy. We have to wade through the water. This is paradise.
If you desire for a perfect tourism where you will have absolute peace, the Niger Delta rainforest is it. Here, we are covered entirely with trees canopy, and being under these trees is a perfect place to be, where you will have natural wildlife sites as well as experience the beauty of nature.
So we are still early in the day. This is just about 3:30, and where we are, darkness comes around 7:30. But we're in the thick of the forest, and it appears that darkness has already taken over the environment. The rains are coming, the weather has turned, and we're in the forest where trees have covered the skyline. We must find our way out of here, otherwise it will become difficult for us to be able to see.
Yes.
Towards the end of this expedition, we had a beautiful nightlife where we ate and danced. It was a beautiful moment to listen to the sounds of the natives and their drums. Unfortunately for a few of us who came all the way from Abuja, there was fear. The fear of the unknown. Walking in the forest at night time was an experience better imagined than being there yourself. And here you could see, she was absolutely terrified.
Yeah? See your leg. You are still in this thing, yeah? Let's go, come.
You're almost there. Have you been there?
Yes, almost there. I was there a few hours ago.
Let's go. Oh, it's a let's go. Let's go.
Sorry, yeah.
Amepa odia unuza na regulated suba esa uluma wesa uluga egromnes mula eberu agne mako unuza te digre dumarar agna ibara Niger Delta de gra paru batin mana bo pro kamine nya korokoro masimi korokoro pinun opape uluga tv darwe ne kamwe bekeze waruluma ibuzato uluma krabara uluma nam uluma enoro abarko uluma ba digrimo babara pakna darkole deo egrepe ulugama robna tin atuga keria mina yalo zbulo ba because akene beneo onzak bare digribe akanarar birma dige sidaru mana simba unu do so unu zabia wo bia agrumna akanarar ke bakpa kana digri unu ko pasa grumna akanarar de arwad mumbeu akwa uruze wen yoba araza akwa reje kenichu muibe peu wata bitaba yaye amuzatar elegenaru atuka keria araza ekpena kwa takukakuti araza ekpena kwa riksa oguruman ba epo bak binare binarwa ogurumara zinza
Now we have come to the end of this year's expedition, and we are on our way back to Abuja. Next year, hopefully, we'll have another expedition which will be greater than this. We hope that this expedition has given us a cause of concern that nature needs serious protection, and it behoves on you and I to ensure that the forests that exist today, that have come through centuries, do not go extinct.